At 7:18 on a Thursday morning, you notice a charge you don't recognize. $89. You search your email and finally find it. A premium gym membership. The strange part? You haven't stepped inside that gym in 11 months. You moved across town last year. Your routine changed. Your life changed. But the payment kept leaving your account every month. You cancel it immediately. Then something about that tiny decision bothers you. Not because you wasted nearly $1,000, because it makes you wonder, how much of your financial life is happening automatically without you paying attention? Then you remember another automatic payment, except this one has been working in your favor. For more than 20 years, money has quietly disappeared from every paycheck and gone into investments. No stock tips, no crypto jackpot, no inheritance, no viral business, just automatic contributions that you barely thought about. You open the account. The number on the screen is $1,284,600. You stare at it because suddenly you realize something. You don't actually need your next paycheck. And the strangest part is that almost nobody in your life knows. Go back 22 years. You're 25 years old. You work as an inventory analyst for a regional distribution company. Your salary is $46,500 a year. You're not poor, but you certainly don't feel wealthy. Rent takes a large part of your paycheck. Then there's food, insurance, fuel, your phone, and the old sedan that seems to need another repair every few months. One afternoon, HR sends information about the company's retirement plan. You almost ignore it. Instead, you spend about 10 minutes setting it up. You choose a diversified, low-cost index fund. Then you authorize an automatic contribution of approximately $260 per month, plus the employer contribution you're eligible to receive. That's it. There is no dramatic moment. You don't suddenly understand the stock market. You don't create a complicated spreadsheet forecasting your retirement. You simply make one decision. Before you can spend your entire paycheck, some of it will belong to your future. That turns out to be more important than almost every investment decision you make afterward, because motivation disappears, habits survive, and automation doesn't care whether you feel disciplined this month. By 29, you're earning $58,000. Your friends notice the raise before you do. One upgrades his truck. Another moves into a luxury apartment. Someone else starts taking expensive weekend trips because, as he says, what's the point of making more money if you don't enjoy it? He's not completely wrong. You enjoy some of your raise too, but you create one rule. Every time your income increases, part of the increase goes toward investing before your lifestyle can absorb it. Your contribution rises from 7% to 10%. Later, it becomes 13%. Eventually, you're investing thousands more per year than when you started. Yet, it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing thousands. Why? Because you never became accustomed to spending all of it. That's one of the biggest financial advantages a person can create. Most people think building wealth requires constantly cutting expenses. Sometimes it does, but there's another powerful strategy. Increase the gap between what you earn and what you need. You don't have to live miserably. You simply refuse to let every promotion create a permanently more expensive version of your life. At 35, the market drops hard. You watch your investment balance fall by more than $70,000. Months of gains disappear. Then years of gains disappear. Suddenly, all those automatic contributions seem pointless. A coworker named Marcus sells most of his stock funds. His reasoning sounds sensible. He'll protect his money now and buy back when the economy looks safer. You consider doing the same thing. But there's one problem. If you sell, you need to make two correct decisions: when to get out and when to get back in. So you do something much less exciting. Nothing. Your automatic investments continue. When prices fall, the same contribution purchases more shares. Eventually, the market begins recovering. Marcus keeps waiting. First, he wants confirmation. Then he thinks the recovery happened too quickly. Then prices become higher than where he sold. Your advantage wasn't that you predicted the recovery. You didn't. Your advantage was that your strategy didn't require you to predict it. Sometimes successful investing is less about knowing what to do next and more about avoiding a destructive decision today. At 41, your salary reaches $108,000. Your investment portfolio has grown to roughly $720,000. Then something happens that completely changes how you see money. During a strong year, your investments increase by around $96,000. You didn't work additional hours for it. You didn't ask for a promotion. You didn't take another job. Your invested capital simply participated in the growth of the assets you owned. For most of your adult life, your labor produced almost all your income. Now capital is beginning to do meaningful work alongside you. This is where compounding starts becoming visible. Early on, investment returns can look almost insulting. You contribute thousands and gain hundreds. Later, a normal percentage move on a large portfolio can equal months or sometimes years of earlier contributions. That's why the first years often feel painfully slow. You're building the machine while expecting it to perform like a finished machine. Eventually, however, the relationship changes. Your contributions still matter, but they're no longer doing all the heavy lifting. The money itself has started carrying more of the load. At 44, you stop asking, how much money can I accumulate? You ask a better question, how much does my life actually cost? So you calculate 12 months of real spending. Housing, groceries, insurance, transportation, medical costs, travel, home repairs, entertainment, everything. Your total is approximately $43,500 a year. That number surprises you. Your salary is much higher, but your lifestyle doesn't require your entire salary. That's an important distinction. A high income can make you wealthy, but a large gap between income and spending can make you financially independent. You begin estimating what size portfolio might reasonably support your spending over a long retirement. You don't treat a simple withdrawal rate rule as a guarantee. Taxes, inflation, healthcare, market returns, and your age all matter. Instead, you run conservative scenarios. You maintain cash reserves, you estimate healthcare separately, you leave room for bad markets and unexpected expenses. And after doing the math, you realize you're no longer decades away. You're close. For the first time, retirement stops looking like an age. It starts looking like a financial equation. By 47, your portfolio is worth approximately $1.28 million. Your salary is now around $126,000. You could afford a much more expensive car. You could afford a larger house. You could probably convince yourself that you deserve both. But you understand something now. Every permanent lifestyle upgrade has two prices. There's the amount you pay today, and there's the amount you must continue earning tomorrow to maintain it. So you spend on things you genuinely value. You take better vacations. You replace your unreliable old car. You pay for convenience when it meaningfully improves your life. But you don't upgrade simply because your salary says you can. That's the difference between being cheap and being intentional. Financial independence isn't about spending the smallest amount possible. It's about making sure your spending serves your life, instead of quietly designing a life that requires you to keep working forever. Eventually, your portfolio crosses a point where your conservative plan can support your normal expenses. Your job hasn't changed, but your relationship to it has. You are no longer there because missing one paycheck would create a crisis. You are there because you haven't decided to leave yet. You don't quit after a terrible meeting. Nobody insults you. There is no dramatic argument with your boss. You simply walk into her office on a Monday morning and tell her you're leaving. She immediately asks, "Where are you going?" You smile. "Nowhere yet." She looks confused, because we're trained to think leaving one job requires another job waiting on the other side. But that's what 22 years of investing purchased. Not a Lamborghini, not a mansion, not an endless vacation. Choice. You can work again if you want. You can consult. You can volunteer. You can build something. You can spend 6 months doing absolutely nothing productive. Your investments didn't buy you permission to stop contributing to society. They bought you permission to decide how you want to contribute. That's a very different kind of wealth. When coworkers hear you've resigned, some assume you're burned out. Others assume you secretly accepted another position. You don't correct everyone. You don't need them to understand. The freedom works whether anybody can see it or not. Your first Tuesday without work is surprisingly ordinary. At 9:37 in the morning, you're sitting in a small neighborhood cafe. There's no champagne, no private jet, no dramatic retirement celebration. Just coffee, a book, and the phone that isn't vibrating with work notifications. At first, it almost feels wrong. For more than 2 decades, weekday mornings belong to somebody else's schedule. Now, they're yours. That's when you understand what the $1.28 million really purchased. Not luxury, control over time. You can visit your parents without calculating how many vacation days remain. You can exercise in the morning. You can cook instead of eating whatever is fastest. You can take a trip without asking a manager to approve the dates. And if you decide to work again, you can choose work based more on meaning and less on desperation. You still manage money carefully. You still watch spending. You still plan for taxes, healthcare, inflation, and market downturns. Financial independence didn't remove responsibility. It changed who controlled the calendar. And after 22 years, that feels more valuable than anything you could have parked in a driveway. Here's the part of this story that matters. It wasn't the $2.18 million. It wasn't the final year. It wasn't even the investment return. The most important moment happened when a 25-year-old earning $46,500 decided to automatically invest about $260 a month. That decision was small enough to feel insignificant, but it created a system. Then every raise made the system stronger. Every year added more capital. Every market decline tested it. Every unnecessary lifestyle upgrade avoided gave it more room. And eventually, compounding turned thousands into hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands into more than 1 million. You don't need to copy those exact numbers. Your income may be different. Your expenses may be different. Your timeline will almost certainly be different. The actionable principles remain remarkably simple. Automate investing, capture part of every raise, use diversified investments you understand, keep fees reasonable, don't panic just because markets fall, control lifestyle inflation, know what your life actually costs, and build toward a number that gives you options. Because financial freedom usually doesn't arrive with an announcement. It happens quietly. One contribution, one raise, one boring month, one disciplined year after another. Until one morning you look at your finances and realize something has changed. You still have a job, but you no longer need one to survive.